Alright, so once again, we are back with Greeks against Apple. Right now, Apple is up 1-0 against Greeks, so if Apple wins this game, he will move on to the next stage of the tournament, while Greeks has to win the next 2 games or he's out. The map is Oasis, which is probably the map that I would like to have as Hades against Set, personally. I think it's probably Greek's best chance at beating Set. It's probably on Oasis. And we'll go more into why later. But just looking at the map in particular, we see this Oasis. It's got quite a lot of starting hunt. Now on Oasis, like sometimes your zebra don't start in line of sight, and it could be problematic for you. But instead, we do see that their zebra have spawned in line of sight, and there are 5 zebra, which is I think the maximum amount you can have for Oasis. So both of these players should have pretty smooth, good early games going for them. We see Apple, he's moving his priest forward again on a different side to the hyena, so they're not moving together. And it looks like if he moved a bit forward, he might have found these giraffes. Maybe stole them from Greeks. Yeah, another thing, these 2 giraffes over here, that's a really far forward spawn for Oasis. These 2 giraffes and a gazelle for your second hunt patch. It's a really far spawn. It's right in the middle of the map. I mean, yeah, here is Apple's giraffes, and the gazelle is much closer to him. So that definitely favors Apple in that regard. But Apple, he still hasn't found any animals to convert. Right now he sees the hyenas. His hyena has just ran through the middle, and yeah, he sees it. And now he's going back to convert these hyenas. He also sees the giraffe over here. I'm not sure which one he'll prioritize, but I'd probably say the hyenas, just because Greeks probably knows about this hunt, and he'll be moving there anytime soon. So if he tries to convert here, his priest is going to get caught. On the hyenas, that's not going to happen. And hyenas, even though they don't have close to as much food as a giraffe, they've got 8 attack, and that's really high. That'll make his shifting sands so much more dangerous if he manages to get a few of these hyenas converted. Now, going on to my previous point about why I think this is the map where I would want to play Greek against Set. This is the map where I think Greek has the best chances. First off, it's low hunt. Like Alfheim, on high hunt maps, this animal conversion thing, it's really powerful, and just being able to establish that early map control with Set, with grabbing the forward TC, having that small zoo army, it's really strong on maps with high hunt. But this is negated a little bit on Oasis, which is one of the reasons. And the second reason is the tendency for Oasis to spawn like this, with having these really defensive maps with the back TCs. It's like these maps in general are a little bit tricky for Egyptians, these back TC maps, mainly because what Egypt likes to do is spam mercs from their TC, and if the TCs are so far backwards like this, the mercs don't get much value. It's also really difficult to push and sort of creep up the map if it's so big. Like if Egyptian wants to play aggressive, they have to build their Migdol sort of closest to their opponent ideally. But when the distance between them and the opponent is this big, that's not going to happen. So this is a really defensive map, and we're likely going to see some very boomy play over here. And I believe Hades should have the advantage in the boom war, since he has better gather rates than Set. He should have the advantage in the boom war. Oh no. Greece lost his scout. Oh, so he ran into the TC. Let's see how his scouting is. Oh no, that's not good. That's not enough scouting. He's missing a huge portion of the map, and he doesn't have quite enough goats yet. Look over here. There's still loads of goats. 2 goats here, or another goat here, another goat here. Now the scout is down for Greeks. These goats are going to all belong to Apple. That's going to be a nice win for Apple, having the scout fall over here. Gotta be really careful not to lose the scout like that. You see Apple, he's halfway through Ptah, so it's likely that he might be going for some aggressive shifting sands shenanigans, because that's a pretty fast advance. While Greeks, I believe he's just started advancing, so he's not going to be at classical quite as soon, and he has to be really careful about getting shifted on over here. Apple is aware of the gathering over here. He's got hyena over here, and Greeks does not see the hyena, but the hyena sees Greeks. Interesting. The hyena has more LOS than these villagers. You see the vision coming down. Greeks has to be panicking now. He has to be afraid. The shifting sands comes in, and this is going to be a catch out. These villagers are going to have to run. They're going to have to scramble. They're going to have to run all the way through the map, or they're going to have to run through the Wadjet like they are now. They're going to be taking so much damage. This villager is definitely going to fall, and this other villager as well. So that's going to be 2 villagers picked off and forced off, and all these villagers are going to be forced off of the giraffe. Really nice win for Apple right there. But the Wadjet, I don't think it's going to be able to do that much more damage. This temple over here and this house over here is sort of protecting the gold mine. Like there is still sort of a gap here, so it's harassable. But that's one thing I really like. This placement of the temple and the house. It protects both the gold and the wood. So that's really, really nice. We see Apple. He's already up classic again, so fast, and he's got the second TC.
And Geo?
Yeah, so that's a really, really fast advance. Again, grabbing the second TC. That seems to be the meta with Set. You advance quickly, you use shifting sands, and then you grab your town center, and then you'll just be hopefully get really, really far ahead in eco. Also, one thing they notice here is that Greeks is making a good job splitting up his goats. One mistake that a lot of people make against Set, especially one that saves his vision like Apple does, is not splitting your goats like that, because if Set shifts back all these 8 goats, it's really good for him, maybe even better than the shift here that kills 2 villagers. Getting an 8 goat swing, that's when the goats fatten up to like say 200 food, that's 1600 food lost and 1600 food gained for the Set player, so that's a 3200 food swing. And if you know something, and in a map with as little food as Oasis, that's absolutely massive. So Greeks right now, just getting up his second TC. Again, this looks to be similar to the last game. Looks similar to be the last game in that in the Apple, he's got 7 more vills than Greeks right now, from having picked off 2 vills with the Wadjet over here, and also getting this TC up so quickly. He's also moving forward and grabbing this nice Ship of Fingernails relic, which gives him 0.4 food per second. I like it. Good move grabbing this relic. You do lose some empowerment over here with a Pharaoh, but this relic, like on Oasis, you want every single bit of food you can get. Maybe it might be better to keep the Pharaoh empowering over here instead of moving back to the temple straight away, or to get hands of the Pharaoh and use the priest to pick up the relic. But either way, I'm glad that the Apple picked up the relic. Again, picking up the relic is not just food for you; it's also less food for the opponent, because the opponent, he could see the relic and pick it up eventually. See Chiron coming in here, but then this gold mine, it's not got any walls in front of it or anything, so it's sort of open. But then, I feel like this Chiron could have been done a little bit more nuisance if the Greeks wanted to. Like, if you see this spot on the forest over here, it's sort of a blind spot where I can shoot at the gold mine and it's not really covered by the tower. I think this would have been a good spot to just park the Chiron. And then that'd be annoying. So Apple right over here, he's still converting. He's got 4 hyenas now. These guys are going to really hurt. They've got 8 attacks, so these hyenas, they're going to be helpful in the fight. Or you could just eat them. 75 food each, pretty good. Probably just eat them actually on a map like Oasis where you're really struggling on food. So we see right now Greeks is 10 villagers behind, but he might be doing a bit better in Eclipse. Yes, he has Husbandry. Husbandry is really, really good. He doesn't have quite as many goats as Apple though, so he's falling behind, and despite that. Husbandry, it's a tech that you're going to have to grab anyway, because it's really good for farming. It makes you farm so much faster. It's actually even better than Plow. Husbandry increases your farming speed more than Plow. At least for Greeks it does. For Egyptians, plow is more important, but husbandry increases farming rate, and it also gives you 20% gather rate on these herdables and 30% extra faster fattening of the herdables. In a map like Oasis, you really want to get it quickly. But Apple, he looks like Apple is not so concerned about that yet. He just wants to get to heroic as fast as possible because that means he's going to be able to get his Migdol up nice and quickly, very, very safely. And only now he's starting to gather wood. And with this wood, he's probably going to be getting pickaxe and husbandry ASAP. You really want to get those products up ASAP. Now the big difference between what's happening this game and last game is that Apple won't be able to just move up the map so easily and just build a forward Migdol and start being aggressive just because of how big the map is. So maybe he might be trying to go for this third town center soon and then go for a late game build with Thoth, doing lots of side builds. That could work. Thoth also gives you the Book of Thoth technology, which lets you fight long term in the late game against Greeks because it gives you really good gather rates. Basically, it makes your gather rates on par with the Greek villas once you get it. You see Apple moving out now. Is he going to grab this town center? No, he's going to build a Migdol over here. Okay. So it looks like Apple might actually still be trying to play aggressive and move on to this town center. Reeks is now just coming down to spot it. It's going to be a little bit late though, and these four hyenas are definitely going to be a big deal over here. The Scorpion Men now, being chased down by the Chiron and the Ajax. But these crocodiles, man, look at the crocodiles, 16 attack, man. They're just eating the Hippicons alive. So here we see Greeks, he loses his minus score, he loses like a few Hippicons, and all he picks off are free animals. So that just shows you the power of free animals. Apple, he basically had nothing. He had just free animals and a priest. That's all he had that was contributing to the fight. The Pharaoh wasn't even helping. Free animals, a priest, and a Scorpion Man. That shows you, while all these units Greek had, the Ajax, the Chiron, the Hippicons, they're all units that he had to pay for with his resources. We weren't able to beat what Apple got for free. So we see Greeks coming back again, but I don't think this will go well. But if you could pick off the Scorpion Man, that would be a nice win. Picking off the Scorpion Man, it's really good because the Scorpion Man is just such a pain for your Hippicons. Your Hippicons just don't beat the chariots if there's a Scorpion Man to help protect the chariots. One thing that neither of these players are doing that I feel like might be a good option is to start spamming walls everywhere, just walling up the map and making sure that you secure it. It's gonna stop any sneaky side raids. It's gonna help you control the corners for the market. And it's not that expensive, so maybe walling up the map now would be a good idea. I don't think this pressure is going to work out at all. I mean, you might pick up a chariot, but then there's never going to be a decisive victory here when the chariots are that close to the Migdol. I feel like this spot could really use a wall. There is the Wadget here and the Hyena to give vision. Yeah, if you look here, this is really nice play by Apple actually. I actually didn't quite notice it, but he's got the Wadget here and the Hyena here, so any raid that Greeks tries to do through here is going to get spotted. Now fight starts breaking down. The Chiron is focusing down the Scorpion Man and it's getting trapped by the Hippicons. The Scorpion Man is going to fall. Yeah, good fight by Greeks. But these chariots are just too fast. They just run away back to the safety of the Migdol. There's not going to be any decisive victory for Greeks happening over here against these chariots when there's a Migdol around. Looking at Greek's resources, he's not even close to getting to the heroic age. I'm not quite sure what his plan is. I really don't know what Greek's plan is. Like, he hasn't gotten this third town center, so he's not going to be out booming the set, it seems. So And like this army, it's never going to be enough pressure on the gold over here to do anything, to really achieve anything. Yeah, this fight isn't gonna work out too well for Greeks. If you look here, good micro on the chariots, focusing down the squishy Toxotes instead of the very tanky Hippicons. Though he might want to garrison the chariots through the Migdol to put them further back and protect them from the Hippicons. You see restoration cast down, so this is some good pressure going on by Greeks. They actually picked off the Pharaoh, and he's picking off some villagers now. His Hippicon are really doing some work. And Apple's actually having to make some mercenaries now to just defend this. But now that the Hippicons are falling, the Toxotes, they're not going to be able to hold. I mean, these guys, they've only got 60 health. They're just so fragile. And these marks are just like, they're just going to town on these Toxotes now. Apple now, I mean, Greek's now finally taking his third town center. So his economy should be, like, it won't really help him reach max villager cap that much more quickly now, since he's already at 70 villagers. But I mean, you're gonna have to take this town center eventually anyway. So it's better to take it sooner rather than later before the set player comes down here to try to mess with you and stop you from taking it. So just like take it while you can. Man, just look at how tanky these mercenaries are. That thing ate like 6 or 7 volleys of these 10 Toxotes. Now we see Apple, he's starting to wall up the map. Very, very good move. Walling up the map, really important here. I really want to see Greeks do it a bit more. I'm just not quite sure what Greek's game plan is, again. Maybe if he got Artemis, he could use Earthquake to do something, but that's not gonna be happening anytime soon, I think, while he continues to fight here. These Migdols also, they don't have crenellations, but if they did, they would absolutely melt the Hippicon, and there would just be absolutely no chance of this army moving in here to do anything. And see, both players now, they've got max fills. Let's have a look at the upgrades. Apple, he's got pretty much all the upgrades he needs. While Greeks, he's still missing Bosaw. I'd say you really want to get Bosaw. So I'd say Apple is actually doing a little bit better on the upgrades. I mean, he is Egyptian, so his gather rates are naturally worse, but they're actually better than what Greeks' gather rates are right now with these upgrade levels. See the budget going down here and finding these gold villagers. That's going to be some annoying harass. And the back and forth over here between the Migdol and the Toxotes is still going on. Chariot archers once again retreating into the Migdol. And these war elephants, really, really tanky. They soak up so much Toxote fire. But these Hippicons, they do really good against the chariots. I don't like the chariots retreating through here. They should just go through the Migdol. And Greeks is up through Aphrodite. He's going to be able to use Curse over here. And this looks like it's going to be a winning fight for Greeks. Really, really good. Instead, he uses Curse over here to prevent this Migdol from going up. Yeah, this Migdol, I can tell, it's going to be really annoying. And now Ancestors goes down. It's going to... all these villagers are over here. Just 2 laborers left. He has to kill these 2 laborers and get out. These villagers here, you don't want to lose them to Ancestors. Move these villagers back. Move them back, come on. Come on, move them back. Migdol comes down, and the side build is stopped, but over here, he's lost all the pressure. That curse going down here would have been way better. Would have gone both the chariots and the villagers, opposed to just villagers, and actually get more units than it was just used down here. But I guess he was really freaked out about this Migdol. And for good reason. Once the Migdol comes down, and the siege works is going to come down, all the elephants are going to start pouring in, so it's really scary to just let sets get a Migdol up in your face that close. But that also meant Curse wasn't getting as much value as it could have. Ancestors, it's going to fall now. It's not... It picked off a few villagers, but apart from that, it didn't do really much. And over here we see a side build happening from Apple. Really sneaky. I like it. We love this side build. The siege works going in here. There's gonna be catapults coming down here soon on this town center once Apple's in the Mythic Age. And Greeks has no clue about it. That's also one of the reasons why you really want to wall up your map, because it stops these sneaky villagers from just walking in and then doing these annoying back siege works. I see a raid now happening on Apple's gold mine. Apple already lost a lot of villagers on the gold mine over here from trying to build the forward Migdal, and now it looks like he's going to be losing control of this gold mine. But does it really matter? I don't think so. He's got the 2 gold mines over here. He's also aging up through Thoth, so he's going to have a really good. He's also going to have some really good side build pressure. He goes for that with the elephants coming out very fast. Good gather rates with Book of Thoth. Valley of Kings means that the elephants are going to train incredibly quickly, so if you get a Migdal up, you can just pump out like 5 to 10 elephants instantly into a town center and just take it out. Keep in mind that elephants they're really good against buildings, and unlike siege weapons like siege towers, they can just take out a TC on their own, even if it's protected by villagers. Because villagers aren't quite as effective against elephants as they are on siege towers.
Into you.
So Thoth, I definitely like the Thoth here as opposed to Horus. Thoth really good for this kind of late game war. See, the elephants are starting to move in now. There's four elephants over here. They're bashing away at the stable. Keep in mind this is a Hades town center and it has masons, so it's really very tanky. But so are these elephants. If Crenellation towers or like Prodromus, if those guys don't come out, these elephants, they're going to take down the TC eventually, no matter how tanky it is with these stats. Looking at Greeks is going through Artemis, so while he's going to have to deal with Meteor, he's going to have Earthquake and Retaliation. But does he have a good spot to Earthquake? This town center might be good. I definitely want to see some sort of play happening here, some counterplay happening here with the Earthquake on this town center, and maybe try to steal it with the Earthquake. I mean, he has the army over here, and this spot looks really quite exposed. It could be happening, but this spot, very sketchy. You don't want to lose this town center. Once this town center comes down, if the set player, like, he can build a Migdal up in your face in 10 seconds once this town center comes down. And once the Migdal comes up next to this fallen town center, it's going to be really hard to get it back. So it looks like Greeks is choosing to go back and defend as opposed to try and go for a counter push on this side, which I'm not sure if it would work actually, because he's got the Apple as a town center here to defend with mercenaries, so I'm not sure if the Earthquake counter push here would actually work. And the Champion Elephants now coming in. Champion Elephants, man, look at these stats. They've got plus 200% damage against buildings, and they've got 652 health. They don't even have the Tusk of Epidemic yet, which gives them even more health. 18 attack as well. Just look at the damage on the buildings. These guys, they do like twice the damage of a destroyer each. They're basically as good as destroyers when it comes to taking down buildings, but they're just crazy tanky as well. Meteor happens, and I'm not sure this town center is going to survive it. So the town center goes down to Meteor. Siege towers is moving in. A sneaky Migdal is coming up on the side. Are catapults being coming here? No catapults coming in here yet. But this TC, is Greeks going to be able to build it back? I don't know. This looks really sketchy. Greeks definitely wants to be building it back ASAP. We also see Earthquake come down. I'm not quite sure where. I'm guessing here. Earthquake removing a Migdal in the siege work, so it's going to slow down the push. But is it going to be enough? I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. You also really want to have more of these Chimera out against sets, keeping in mind that sets does not have Osiris. Like these late game big myth units like the Chimera Colossus, they're really good against sets who just doesn't, like, it's just really hard to cope with them cope with myth units in the late game without Osiris. So I'd like to see more of these Chimera come out. But Greeks still only got 3 in favor. He's really low in resources. He's grabbing his TC back. If this TC comes back, it's going to be really nice for him. But then he has to worry about the siege works. It's come out so close to the TC. All the catapults are going to pop out, and they're going to be in range to fire the TC straight away. You see the Pharaoh has been spotted by Greeks and is being taken out now. The 10 villagers here doing the side build. They're gonna have to escape. There's a gate here. There's a gate here. Apple could just run through this gate, but no, that doesn't work. The gate leads to nowhere. No, he's going through the gate, so it's gonna be stalled. Oh, the Chimera special. Roasting the villagers. Oh, these guys are gonna be so low. They can't actually run through the forest here, right? They can't run through the forest here and escape. This Pharaoh is trapped, and all these villagers are trapped here as well. You know, the fighting is still going on over here. Apple coming back again with these elephants. Let's have a look at the upgrades on the elephant. They've got Tussa of Epidemic, so now they've got so much health. It's champion elephants. They've got good bronze line upgrades. Champion elephants, Tussa of Epidemic, plus 20% elephant hit points, 10% hack damage. Crazy just how much stats they have. 742 and 21 hack attack. Really, really crazy. You see the small camp of villagers in the Pharaoh finally getting picked off, the wall getting broken through. So the side builds are going to be stopped for now. And the Heliopus is going to be here to deal with the Migdol. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, though, Apple is forward building. He's got the Migdol up here, and he's going to be moving forward on the gold mine. And now the pressure is going to be happening on this TC. The catapults are coming out now, and they're going to be coming away at this TC. Does Greeks notice it? The villagers could remove these catapults so fast, but if he doesn't notice it in time, it's going to be painful. So he does notice. These catapults not going to take down the TC. Not quite enough. A good effort, not quite enough. He needs more walls. Needs more walls and maybe a few chariots, towers, whatsoever. Whatever. But right now, Greeks is just so far behind in upgrades. I mean, looking at these prodromos, they've only got heavy cavalry. They've got not the pure upgrades. Meanwhile, Apple's units, they're on champion. They're on champion. He's got Tuss of Epidemic, and he's got more armory upgrades. Greeks now going in and putting in the pain on Apple's trade, but this Migdol has gone up. And Greeks, his gold situation is looking sketchy. He doesn't have a trade route. He's got the market here, but he doesn't have the trade route. And all these villagers now, they're going to be running all the way across the map to this gold mine over here, and maybe this gold mine over here. And that's going to be a big dip in Greeks' gold income. The score is really close. Greeks has 5,000 score. So Greeks is keeping up with the set player, and this looks really close. Now we see more elephants come out now. The side build from these two Migdols. That's going to be strong. They're going to be going down on that TC. Let's have a look at what's going on here. You see finally champion cavalry going through for Greeks, and the pain being put on this trade route. That's a lot of damage. Every caravan that goes down it's a lot of resources. These caravans so expensive. But then the catapults again, they're back at it. They're back at it. And then there's 4 elephants here, and Greeks has absolutely nothing to hold against these elephants. This TC, it doesn't even have crenellations yet. And I don't think this TC is going to be able to stay up. Meanwhile, this TC is so secure, it's even got the mercs coming out of it, and 2 Migdols on top of that. Nothing's going to happen to this TC, but losing all this trade route, that's really big. That's really bad for Apple, losing so many caravans. It's going to set him back. If he manages to keep this TC down, that could be a win condition. It's looking sketchy now. Also, Apple, he doesn't have to worry about Underworld as well. Underworld over here could be really nasty, like all the way to the back over here and then taking out this TC, but yeah, that's another thing in this matchup. Underworld it's a big deal. But since we had Greeks go through Aphrodite, that's not happening. He does have the Divine Blood upgrade. Villagers 20% speed and build rate. So that does apply to TCs as well. Yeah. It doesn't apply to towers, but that means that he can build this TC up quickly, and he can spam forward buildings everywhere really, really quickly if he so chooses to. But he's really struggling on the gold. He doesn't have the gold. He's only got these 15 villagers here. Yeah, he's only got 105 gold. Apple as well, spending all his gold in mercenaries. Looking really tight. These villagers forward building should maybe make more stables. And Greeks taps out. Is that a bit early? Maybe? I don't know. This town center, it's under a lot of pain though, this town center. I don't know, I felt like that was maybe he could play out a bit more. This TC, that was definitely a problem. Apple was definitely winning there, but I'm not sure it was a resignable situation yet.
Into you.
But these elephants are just so powerful. I mean, look at that. 742 health. And they come down here and they just eat up these town centers faster than destroyers. They're basically like they're basically the same thing as destroyers, except they're super tanky. Destroyers are just tanky. They're a bit slower, but these elephants, damn. So, I guess Apple this game he had a little bit of a. I'm not sure if he had a better boom actually. He did have more goats, but then he chose not to get husbandry, and like he had a big delay on his eco-ops basically. Just like using up all those goats without husbandry sort of slowed him down a little bit, even though he had all those goats. But he also was ahead in villagers. This game was a good game. It turned out a lot closer than I expected. I thought Apple was going to win when I just saw him being ahead by 10 villagers up in the early game. I thought that was going to be an easy win for Apple. Apple also did a really nice job securing the map with these walls everywhere. While Greeks, like the side build didn't do as much damage as it could have because it's only the siege works. Like it didn't come down with more walls with maybe a barracks or something. It didn't do as much damage as it could have, but it definitely could have been nasty side builds. So good game, well played by both players here. I'm actually impressed by how well Greeks did against one of the top players in this tournament. Apple being seeded second and also being one of the highest rated players on ladder. Really dominant set player. So Apple takes it 2-0 and Greeks is out of the tournament with this game.